Bugs, battles, and a long-awaited adventure, Hollow Knight Silksong had a lot to live up to. Fans have been waiting years for this sequel to the indie classic, and it's finally here. The question is, can Silksong weave an experience as enchanting as the original, or does it get tangled in the web of its own hype? Let's jump right into it and find out. After a seemingly endless wait, a kind of mythology grew around Silksong's development. Team Cherry went quiet for years, dropping very few updates and even refusing to provide advance review copies to the press. This meant that on launch day, September 4th, 2025, both critics and fans entered Pharloom with zero prior impressions. The hype was off the charts. The Nintendo eShop and Steam servers even struggled under the demand when the game released. At one point, Silksong hit over 500,000 concurrent players on Steam, which is remarkable for a 2D indie game. Expectations could not have been higher. So how does Hollow Knight Silksong actually hold up now that it's here? After spending a good amount of time exploring Pharloom, I can confidently say this: Silksong delivers a thrilling adventure very much in line with what fans loved about the first game, though it doesn't completely reinvent the formula. You play as Hornet, the fierce princess protector from the original Hollow Knight. The game begins with Hornet captured and taken to Pharloom, a distant kingdom ruled by Silksong. Waking in this strange land, she sets off on a pilgrimage to ascend to the kingdom's peak and discover why she was brought there. The setup is minimal, with the world and its lore revealed through atmosphere and cryptic dialogue rather than long explanations. You don't need to have played the original to follow the story here. It stands on its own, though returning players will spot plenty of nods. Hornet is a very different lead compared to the Silent Knight. She actually speaks in short barks and reactions, which gives her more personality. She's brash, confident, and sometimes impatient, which makes her stand out during conversations. The kingdom of Pharloom is filled with quirky bug inhabitants, and Team Cherry's knack for creating odd, memorable characters shines again. The story remains mysterious, but I always felt motivated to push forward and uncover the kingdom's secrets. At its heart, Silksong plays like Hollow Knight, a 2D Metroidvania with precise combat, challenging platforming, and huge interconnected maps. The controls are smooth and responsive, making every jump and slash feel tight. But Hornet is no copy of the Knight. She's faster, more agile, and equipped with her signature needle. From the start, she can dash, letting you zip around more freely than in the original. Her diagonal air slash replaces the Knight's pogo, which changes the rhythm of fights and platforming in interesting ways. Once I got used to it, combat felt sharp and rewarding, almost like a dance of dodges and counterattacks. This is a tough game. Enemies hit hard, hazards are everywhere, and bosses demand quick reflexes. Early on, I fell into lava pits, got spiked by traps, and cracked jars that exploded in my face, all within the first hour. The difficulty is high but fair, and compared to Hollow Knight's brutal opening, the early bosses here feel a bit more forgiving. They'll still crush you if you're careless, but it feels like Team Cherry wanted to ease new players in before cranking up the challenge later. Veterans needn't worry though, tougher fights await further in. Death works similarly to the first game. When you die, you drop a cocoon-like shade holding your currency and must defeat it to recover your goods. It adds risk to exploration but isn't overly punishing, since benches, the game's checkpoints, are slightly more frequent this time. Finding a new bench always feels like a relief after a tough stretch. The new tools system replaces charms. Instead of equipping a range of passive buffs, you craft tools that grant abilities like healing, mapping, or combat bonuses. Early on, the limitations can feel frustrating. Even equipping the compass eats a slot, but as you progress, you unlock more notches. It eventually allows for more flexibility and encourages swapping your setup depending on the challenge ahead. Hornet's healing also works differently. She uses silk to bind wounds, which is fast but limited. This system creates tension. Do you spend your silk healing or saving it for special abilities? It's a clever tweak that makes battles more intense. Quests also add depth to Pharloom. NPCs hand out optional objectives like hunting rare creatures or retrieving items. They aren't essential, but they make the world feel richer and reward exploration. Silksong is massive. With more than 165 new enemy types and over 30 major bosses, there's no shortage of content. The variety of foes and encounters keeps things fresh, and the boss fights stand out as highlights, tough, beautifully animated, and satisfying to overcome. For those seeking ultimate challenge, Steel Soul mode returns with permadeath for the truly brave. Pharloom is both beautiful and dangerous. Each region feels distinct: mossy caves, grand cities, misty peaks, and lush grottos, all brought to life with Team Cherry's hand-drawn art. The detail is stunning. Glowing fungi lighting a path, embers floating through dark caverns, machinery crumbling in the background. The world feels alive and steeped in history even without direct storytelling. Christopher Larkin's soundtrack is outstanding once again. The music ranges from haunting melodies in quiet areas to intense orchestral bursts during boss fights. It perfectly complements the mood, making moments of calm feel lonely and moments of combat thrilling. Sound effects also add to immersion, from skittering bugs to the distant toll of bells. It's a game worth playing with headphones. The world design isn't flawless. Early zones sometimes feel more linear and less interconnected than Hallownest did, and a few areas blur together visually. I occasionally relied on the map more than memory since some tunnels lack distinct landmarks. Still, the overall craftsmanship is excellent, and later areas already show more variety and striking visuals. Silksong runs beautifully. On PC, it held steady frame rates, and on the original Switch, it maintains 60 FPS at 1080p docked and 720p handheld. Console versions on PlayStation and Xbox are just as stable. I didn't encounter any bugs or crashes, and optimization feels strong across platforms. The pricing is also player-friendly. At $19.99 USD, the amount of content on offer is excellent value. Plus, Game Pass subscribers get access on day one, lowering the barrier for trying it out. In a time when many games launch with high prices and technical issues, Silksong feels refreshing. Hollow Knight Silksong had impossible expectations to live up to, but it succeeds where it counts. It doesn't reinvent the genre or replicate the sense of discovery the original had, but it offers a polished, challenging, and atmospheric journey. I love the boss battles, the music, the quirky NPCs, and the constant sense of danger mixed with beauty. This feels like a game made with care, and that passion comes through in every moment. I'm giving Hollow Knight Silksong a 9.5. It's a must-play for fans of the first game and an excellent entry point for newcomers. If you enjoyed this review, give it a like and subscribe to GameVault HQ for more indie game reviews. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.